Hello and welcome. My name's Julie, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to make a mini flat page on a Happy Planner monthly layout. This isn't the first time I've made a flat page like this. I made a spring sticker hunt page where I use the flaps to write gratitude every day. You can use the extra writing space for lots of things as well as daily gratitude. So I hope it's an idea that you might want to give a try. Here's a Halloween page that I made. And more recently, this December page, which had flaps and looks a little bit like an advent calendar. I'll be using these pages for my back to school sticker hunt, which begins on August the 1st. More about the sticker hunt later. What I'm using is some pages from an old Happy Planner. It doesn't actually matter what the numbers are because I'm going to be covering those up with the mini flaps. I've whited out the month and the year. And I took inspiration from these back to school stickers from my scrapbooking stash for the flaps that I'm going to be making for my page. This blackboard paper came from an old Die Cuts with a View scrapbook pad, and I've chosen it because it's actually white on the other side, but it doesn't matter if it's not, as I'll give you some tips while I'm making the page. I've got my Fiskars paper trimmer, and the boxes on a Happy Planner Classic monthly layout are 4 centimetres by 4 centimetres. So I'm going to cut this 8 centimetres because I will be folding it in half. And you will need 31 for the month of August. So here is my first flap, and I'll be back when I've cut out all 31. A couple of little tips for me is that although the square is 4 centimetres by 4 centimetres, you want to make sure that the flaps don't actually butt up against each other. So I try to cut it a sliver thinner, about 1 millimetre less. But what I would recommend doing is when you've cut your first one, check that you're happy with the measurements that you're using on your paper trimmer, and then if it's a little bit too big you can adjust it before you cut out all the rest. I think mine are just about okay. There might be a little bit of a bump when I stick them on, but I think we'll be okay. Another tip is when you've cut them out, just put them in a pile together so that you can check that you have cut them all the same. I couldn't quite get 31 out of one 12 by 12 piece of scrapbook paper. I had to cut into a second sheet. But the other thing that you can do if you are looking to save on paper is there's no reason why you have to have it folded in half. You could just cut this maybe about 5 centimetres, so there's a little edge here, and stick the little edge in rather than the whole flap. But I find it easier to stick the whole of this back section in, so that's why I did it like this, but you can definitely do it the other way. So I want to make my flaps look like little chalkboards, and all I need on the front of mine is the number of the day it is and the letter of the alphabet. So I'm using my Artistroke pens to just do a little border. These pens perform differently on different papers. Sometimes they soak in and sometimes they stand out. I might need another coat. And then I will have the letter of the alphabet in upper and lower case, like that. But I've left a little bit of room to add the number for the date. These aren't paint pens, so if you have paint pens, they will stay more on the surface of the paper rather than soak in. but I'll decide when I've done them all whether I need to go over them again or not. In case you're wondering why I'm putting A, B and C on it and so on, it's not just because this is a school theme, but because for the back to school sticker hunt I ask people to search for something beginning with A on the first and B on the second and so on. I do have a list that I put out right at the end of July, because I find if I put it out before the end of July, people are messaging me saying I finished the hunt and it's not even the month that it's supposed to have happened in, so I wait to the last minute to post the list now, as it's meant to be an August sticker hunt. It's probably the teacher in me being a stickler for the rules. The good thing about the back to school sticker hunt is you don't have to use the things that I put on the list. If you can't find what's on the list, you can find something else beginning with that letter of the alphabet. So this one is probably one of the easiest sticker hunts of all the sticker hunts I do. If your paper has colour on the other side, then you could either write in a white gel pen or you could stick it onto white label paper. So I'll be back when I've finished all of the flaps. I've made all the flaps and I did have to go around the border a second time on all of them because for whatever reason the brown seemed to just soak into the paper. I didn't bother with the white because it's meant to look like chalk, which isn't very bold anyway. I thought that would save me some time. It's interesting because this is some black card when I was trying out my ideas, and on this one you can see that although the brown does soak in a little bit, it's not soaking in as much as it did on the paper. So although I did a video where I tested these out, it really does depend on what paper you use as to how well they perform. I'll just use Pritt Stick to stick them down, and Sunday is the 1st of August. I don't like it when the Pritt Stick goes all gloopy though. Let's see how we get on. And you may be thinking that because this is the back to school sticker hunt, all the items on my list are going to be school related items like apple and book and calculator or something like that. But that's not really the point. It's an ABC sticker hunt because you learn your ABCs at school, and the items on the list aren't necessarily going to be school related. You'll probably be thinking, well, there are only 26 letters in the alphabet and you need 31 for August, which is true. So you'll see how I've got round that when I've finished this page. I'm going to take my banana, as my mum calls it, which is really just a bone folder, and make sure that this part is really well and truly stuck down. There are pros and cons to using paper. It's thinner and doesn't bulk up your planner, but I do find in the past when I've used quite thin paper, they don't always lay flat, and when you close your planner they can fold. So if you want to use thicker card, then it makes the flap stronger, but you will bulk up your planner more. Here's how it looks now the flaps are added. I'm really happy with it, but it needs a pop of colour. So I grabbed the Fun Alphabet sticker book from Happy Planner, and I thought that these colourful alphabet stickers would work really well. The good thing about the ruler trick is you can make sure your words are going to fit before you put them down. You will notice that I have used die graphs for the last 5 days of the month. Last year I just carried on ABC, I think. My dad would say, "What's a digraph?" Because when he was taught at school they didn't do phonics. In fact, when I was taught at school we didn't do phonics either. But as a teacher I taught phonics, and we often had alphabet charts and phonic charts around the classroom. So I thought I would go with some digraphs for the last 5 days. Now, amongst my scrapbooking stash, I also have these Me and My Big Ideas sticker sheets. For those of you who don't know, Me and My Big Ideas is how Happy Planner first started. The ladies who started Happy Planner first started with scrapbooking supplies, and these were some of their products. I wish they would bring them back. I think you can still find a couple of these stick people in one of the old mega seasonal sticker books, but they're so much fun and I've still got them in my stash, and as they are school themed I think they're perfect to use on this spread. Sometimes I use the sidebar to add the list of the stickers that I need to find. I did for the summer sticker hunt, which I'm still doing at the moment. Hopefully be able to squeeze 4 children in. Just get this girl here. Perfect. If you're new to my sticker hunts, there aren't any rules. You don't even have to find 1 sticker a day if you don't want to. Some people like to get all their sticker books out and complete it in 1 sitting. You can use any brand of stickers, and sometimes you have to get a little bit creative if there's a sticker you can't find. Although with this sticker hunt that shouldn't be a problem, seeing as you just have to find something beginning with that letter of the alphabet. If you're not using the flaps for the sticker a day, you could use them for so many other things. As I said, I've used them for daily gratitude. You could write a memory of each day, record key fitness stats, a favourite book or Bible quote for each day, or you could even add a little photo each day and a tiny bit of journaling about it. There's so many possibilities. This is the thin rainbow washi from Live Love Posh. It's just restocked at the moment, and I know that red will be the first colour that I run out of because I use it a lot in my spreads. I could put the school bus at the bottom, but it's a bit of a squeeze, so I might just add a few more of the little pens. And some of the stars on this sheet. It does seem funny making a back to school spread when schools have only just broken up here in England. I hadn't actually realised until I joined the planner community that the US has school holidays a completely different time to us in the UK. So we won't be talking back to school until right at the end of August or the beginning of September. You may be wondering if, as a teacher, I ever had to use a chalkboard, and the answer is yes. When I was doing my teaching practice, which is training to become a teacher, I was in a school that used blackboards, and I really struggled. I don't know how the children could even read what was written because it was so faint. When I actually became a teacher, I only ever taught at 2 schools because I stayed there some time. And the first one we used a small whiteboard, which was like an easel, and we had a larger whiteboard on the wall. And in my second school, we actually moved to interactive whiteboards, which I remember at the time giving us lots of headaches when they weren't working properly. But when they were working properly, they were definitely a change for the better. And I think that apart from adding the numbers for the dates, this spread is done. Really happy with how it's turned out. And I hope you'll either join in the sticker hunt or that I've inspired you to make a flap spread of your own. Look out for the list at the end of July. I'll post it on my Instagram stories first and my YouTube community post. And I also share it on several Facebook groups. If you like a bit of colour in your spreads, then you might want to watch this video where I make 3 rainbow floral spreads using stickers from Live Love Posh. Remember, you can use my code Julie10 to save on Live Love Posh products. Or if you're shopping the big sale that's on at the moment, then I'd really appreciate you shopping with my link to show me some support. I hope I've given you some inspiration for your planner today, and I'll see you next time.